Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty, guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL. All these videos get posted on a subreddit called DF Sports. As you can see here, my username is Shook. I post all the videos here. I post updates that come out. People post strategy talk here. I answer all of your questions here if you have questions about the slate. So check that out if you're interested in. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through Reddit Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. So let's take a look at my lineups from tonight. Since I don't do showdown videos for NFL, I'll still show you guys my NFL lineup. Pretty good day overall. Didn't cash an NBA, but as you guys can see here, NFL went extremely well. As you guys can see, we'll pull up the winning first though. Lost like a few head-to-heads, but look at this. As you guys can see, we have just been absolutely destroying the NFL this season. It's been highway fucking robbery in the Discord with NFL. Just absolutely nuking NFL this year. Just phenomenal day. Phenomenal. But we'll go over my NFL lineup. So as you guys know, I only play cash for NFL. So I play cash. I'll play GPPs on main slates, but mainly just a cash grinder. I went Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Joshua Dobbs, Brett Maher, and Hassan Haskins. So the core that I had for this slate was Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Hassan Haskins, all absolutely smashed. Three of the highest scorers on the slate, point per dollar, outside of Dalton Schultz. So phenomenal day. And then if Discord is something you guys are interested in, I have in-depth content going over each slate, player pools for cash, GPPs, as you can see here. I have private videos for every slate, stuff like that. So I'll leave a link to that in the comments down below. So NBA didn't go my way. Unfortunately, it would have been a really good night if SGA and Grimes just shot the ball a lot better than they did. I believe SGA, well, he shot the ball fine, but didn't do any peripheral stats. Would have liked a little bit more free throw attempts. Only 7 free throw attempts is not what you want to see. So SGA busting, and then Grimes shooting 0 of 100, like 1 of 10 shooting, dudes. That's what killed my lineup. You know, I finally play Siakam. He has an average game, but when I fade, 70, 80, 57. But when I play him, 50, 40, 34, 33, 39. I played him all of those slates, but fade, he breaks the slate. I go back, average game. Can we talk about Jalen Williams? I mean, he had 2 fantasy points at half. Or like 1. Gets into massive foul trouble. Shoots 0 of 5 from the field as a big. He was on pace to play like 33 minutes. He should have absolutely punished the faders. Unbelievable that game for him. Luckily, he still reached 5x value. Quickly, phenomenal. Randall, phenomenal. Langford, phenomenal. 1% owned Langford. 1%. 1% owned Romeo Langford. I guess everyone went to Josh Richardson. Really sharp people out there. Josh Richardson, nice. When we've seen in the past with Langford starting, they want to run him into the ground. I'll give you another example here. 30 minutes against Miami, he started. Tonight, 30 minutes he started. He's not a bad point per minute guy either. Not a good point per minute guy, but he's not a bad point per minute guy. So massive field by the massive mistake by the field going Josh Richardson over Langford. That was a fish play. Josh Richardson was like 20% owned. Made no sense. But The core that I had for today was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Unfortunately, he did bust, but the rest was a smash. Quickly, smash. Jalen Williams, kind of smash. Julius Randle, absolutely smash. So, had some big days in the Discord too. Love to see that. And let's go over this slate. So we got, I believe, a 9-game slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9-game slate for tomorrow. We're going to go through this quick. I'm not going to go over team pace defensive rank. I'll just tell you if it's a good matchup here. But good matchup here for Washington. I do believe Beal is going to be back. I'm expecting him to be back. So with Beal likely coming back, there just isn't much that stands out to me in a good matchup. Like, I think Porzingis could definitely have his way here, but I think he's appropriately priced with Beal back. Just Beal being back, these three are going to dominate the usage. They're going to split the usage, which definitely hurts their upside. So I think all three are in play for tournaments in a GPP setting. I think Porzingis might be my favorite, and then Beal a close second. I think Kyle Kuzma is just completely overpriced with Beal back, but they're in play for tournaments, but no real standouts here. And then I'm not going to go to the value. I do believe Daniel Gafford has been starting. If he continues to start, was that with Beal out though? I think that was Beal. Yeah, Beal was out, so he'll slide back to the bench. Yeah, he'll slide back to the bench. If for some reason they do decide to continue to start Gafford, which I don't think they will. I mean, you can go there, but there's much better value on the slate. Rui played 30 minutes last game, but we have Beal most likely coming back. I think that's going to hurt him a little bit, but like he's playable for large field GPPs, but not much on Washington. So good matchup here for Orlando. We have the whole team out. They're going to have an 8-man rotation here. Carter, let's count the bodies. Banchero 1, Franz 2, Fultz 3, Bol 4, Terrence Ross 5, Schofield 6, Houston 7, Harris 8. So Banchero is going to be the clear number 1 here on offense. I think he's my least favorite of the Orlando Magic, which he's probably going to be the lowest owned of the bunch. So I do like him for tournaments. I love all the Magic tomorrow. I do. So Banchero, I like him at 7.8K. I think the others look a little bit better point per dollar. Franz, he's going to have to do more offensively. He's probably going to get a minutes bump too. I think he looks like a very solid play in the mid-range. Markelle Fultz at 6K. He's the only point guard on the roster. He's literally the only point guard. So he's going to have to play all the minutes he can handle tomorrow. I think he looks really good at 6K, but just know if I play him, you should all fade, but love the ceiling there. Bol at 4.8K is just an absolute smash play. They have no bigs. Bol is the only big. The only big, and he's blowout proof too. So Bol looks absolutely phenomenal tomorrow. I absolutely love Bol. Terrence Ross, I'm expecting to move into the starting lineup. I'm expecting him to play pretty big minutes. I think he looks like a really good value play. You know, going to be low usage, but 8-man rotation, min price, probably going to have to play huge minutes. Probably going to shoot the ball 10 plus times. I think he looks very good for value. And then these bench guys, so Schofield, Houston, and Harris, they're going to have to play some. I'm expecting they each at least play 15 minutes, maybe 20. If I had to rank them, I don't know how I would rank them. I know Houston is the worst point per minute guy between the three, so Houston would probably be my least favorite. I think Schofield. I think if I had to pick one of these bench guys, I think it would be Schofield, but I think they're firmly in play. They're going to be an 8-man rotation here at their min price, so if I had to rank them, Schofield 1, Harris 2, Houston 3. Terrence Ross obviously 1 above them, but let's go over another situation here, and I think this is extremely important. So it's a 5-point spread, so I don't expect the game to blow out, but if you want to play for this blowout, I think it's something that you can do. So why I said Bol is blowout proof is he is blowout proof here. He is going to have to play all the minutes he can handle, and he will play in a blowout. Why do I say I know he'll play in a blowout? Because Banchero is not going to play in a blowout. Franz is not going to play in a blowout. Markelle Fultz is not going to play in a blowout. So that leaves them 5 bodies remaining. So that leaves Bol, who will play in a blowout. Terrence Ross, who will play in a blowout. Schofield, who will play in a blowout, Houston, who will play in a blowout, and Kevon Harris, who will play in a blowout. So if you want to take that chance and think this game blows out and go to some of these min-price value guys, I think they're in play regardless. But if the game blows out, they're definitely going to get more run. I think that you could definitely go about that, but it's extremely, extremely risky. But I love the Magic tomorrow. I think their whole starting five looks really, really good. If I had to rank them for you guys, I think I'm going to go Bobo 1, Markel Fultz 2, Franz 3, Terrence Ross 4, Banchero 5. That's point per dollar. Or maybe it might be, I might go Bull 1, Frost 2. This is point per dollar though. Like how I would rank them point per dollar, how they would do as like a value play. So I might go Bull 1, Ross 2, Fultz 3, Franz 4, Paulo 5. But no real strong take there. I think they all look amazing, and I feel like we just took way too much time talking about the Orlando Magic. Tough matchup here for Phoenix. Booker is going to continue to be out. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I know Bridges had a good game last game, but he's also playing through an injury, so it's kind of hard for me to go there. He did play 40 minutes though, so maybe he's feeling a little bit better. But super safe play. Really no interest for me personally on this slate. I think it's just Chris Paul and Ayton for me. It's a tough matchup, but these two are going to lead the way offensively. These two are going to have to do everything for the team. The price went down a little bit on Chris Paul. I think his ownership is going to be pretty low too. So I think CP3 is a good tournament play. I always think Ayton's a good tournament play because he's like under 5% every slate and he has like 50 fantasy point upside. But this game environment is just not a good one. So these two are just GPP only plays for me. Dwayne Washington, he's not going to play a lot unless the game blows out. So here's the thing. If he is going to be popular, he is a terrible play. If he is going to be low owned, then I can get behind you playing Dwayne Washington. Jock Landale's been starting, but not playing enough minutes for me to really want to go there, but always viable as a dart. Damian Lee should play 20-ish minutes, okay value, but for me personally, it's just Chris Paul, it's just DeAndre Ayton that I'll be targeting on the Suns. So tough spot here for Toronto. We do have Fred VanVleet questionable. We have Precious Achiuwa questionable. If they are both in, I don't like Toronto as a whole. Like Siakam loses a boost. Scotty definitely downgrades. OG downgrades. Trent definitely downgrades. Chris Boucher downgrades. So with Fred VanVleet in, there's just not much here for me. I think Fred VanVleet point per dollar would be my favorite play, assuming he is full go. This price tag would seem a little bit too cheap. Let's talk about if they are out, though. I think Siakam gets a boost, but I mentioned it today. I thought Scotty Barnes looked really, really good with no Fred VanVleet, and he absolutely smashed. I would like him a lot tomorrow if Fred VanVleet's out. He just slides to that point role. He's already a good rebounder, and when you have him playing that point role, that just boosts his floor. And with him being a really good rebounder and a really good defender, that boosts his ceiling even more. So I would like Scotty a lot. If Fred VanVleet's out, I think OG would be a pretty solid play as well. Gary Trent, I was surprised by his ownership. Nobody played him. I thought he was a good play. Nobody played him. He was like 10% owned. I actually had him in my lineup, but once we got Flynn not starting, I had to move things around. So yeah, I like me some Trent if Fred VanVleet's out. I do. And then Malachi Flynn played mid-20s minutes off the bench. Oh, he played 30. He'd be an okay value if Fred's out. And then if he starts, I would like him even more. But yeah, really depends on Fred VanVleet there for me. Good matchup here for the Lakers. We do have LeBron questionable, and we have Dennis Schroeder and Lonnie Reeves all probable. So if LeBron's in, I think LeBron makes for a good spend up. I think he's going to go very low owned tomorrow. I think it's a good matchup, especially if DeAndre Hunter is out. They're going to have nobody to guard LeBron. He's just going to absolutely feast. So no Capella either. So this spot for him just gets better and better and better with no DeAndre Hunter. If Hunter's out, like who's going to guard him? Nobody's going to guard him. So I do like LeBron as a spend up if he plays. Westbrook, no thank you. Thomas Bryant got into foul trouble last game. Plus the blowout. I think normally if the game stays close, he's probably going to play around 30 minutes. I think he's just a fair option in the mid range. And then if LeBron's in, I'm not going to Schroeder. I'm not going to Lonnie. I think Pat would be fine. I think Reeves would be fine, but that'll really be it for me. But if LeBron's out, Westbrook still going to come off the bench, but he's going to have to do a lot more. I think it would definitely be a strong play. And then I think Schroeder and Reeves would be pretty good plays as well. Patrick Beverley would get a boost too. He would be fine. So definitely keep an eye on that LeBron news, but I'm pretty sure he plays. So phenomenal matchup here. We do have Trae Young probable. I like both the guards a lot for tournaments tomorrow. I like Murray. I like Trae. Guards have been absolutely killing the Lakers. It's a pace-up spot here. They're both pretty cheap, so I do prefer Trae to DeJounte, but given the matchup, I think both look like very strong tournament plays to me. Now, they're definitely risky. They both have shown a pretty low floor this season, but have shown very, very high ceilings, and I think this is a matchup where one of them could just absolutely nuke this slate. Not going to get to Bog with Trae in. Collins, Okongwu, these two are going to. Collins will play the backup five. He'll start the four. Okongwu will start the five. Okongwu played 40 minutes last game. If we're going to get 40 minutes from Okongwu, I like him. Collins is also playing all of the backup five, which helps him a ton. I think he looks solid at 5.7K. And then I'm not going to get to anyone else. Like AJ Griffin didn't play much. They went more to Jalen Johnson. So extremely, extremely tricky. And then Kinkadere and Holiday with Trae Young back. So my second favorite team to target on the slate is going to be Detroit. It's crazy. The two best teams to target on this slate are the Orlando Magic and the Detroit Pistons. It's absolutely wild how things have turned. So I like Bojan's ceiling. I think he's definitely my least favorite Piston, but I do like his ceiling. With no Killian Hayes, you would think Jaden Ivey's going to have to play a lot more. I like his ceiling once again. Jalen Duren is going to be solely dependent on Marvin Bagley. If Bagley's out, I do like Duren. If Bagley's in, I think he becomes a lot more riskier. Stewart's minutes went on a downtrend last game, just a tournament play only. And then with no Hayes, I assume Alec Burks starts at the point. And if that's the case, he's going to be a very, very popular play. But I think he's going to be pretty good chalk, in my opinion. I think, regardless of ownership, I think it's a good play regardless. So, really like Burks. I think Sadiq Bey is going to play a ton off the bench. I think he looks really good for value. But once again, going to be extremely, extremely popular. And then you're probably going to get Corey Joseph playing a lot more. I think he'd be an interesting GPP play. They could start Kojo, and if that's the case, would like him. But I think Alec Burks is probably going to move into the starting lineup. He started the second half, I believe, for Hayes. Good matchup here for Chicago. I think DeMar, Levine, Vooch all look good to me. I think I prefer Levine the most. I think he's just much easier to get to with that shooting guard and shooting forward eligibility, but I think all look good to me. Patrick Williams is questionable. I don't even know who would start for him. They could go small with like Ayo, and start Caruso and Ayo together. They could go, like would Simonovac be in the rotation if he's out? I feel like that'd be crazy, but who knows? Like Javonte Green is. Oh, Javonte Green's probable. So X Simonovac, or however you say his name. We'll see. But Ayo's probably out to play for me with Alex Caruso coming back. Alex Caruso himself, I think, is just an okay value. And then I'll always mention Andre Drummond. He'll play the backup five. If Vooch gets into foul trouble, he can absolutely break the slate. So I'll always mention him as a tournament-only play. Minnesota at Milwaukee. So we have Cat out. We have Kyle Anderson questionable. I don't expect him to play, so we'll go over it assuming he is out. Ant's fine. Like, not the best matchup, so more of a dart to me. D'Lo probably my favorite. Just playing huge minutes right now. Guy that can stuff the stat sheet, do a lot for his team. So I think D'Lo is a solid tournament-only play. Naz Reid is actually playing more of late. He's actually playing alongside Rudy Gobert and closing some games. So I do like Naz Reid at 4.9K if he's going to continue to play 25 plus minutes. He is a very strong play at 4.9K, but just be careful there. It is very, very volatile. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to playing Gobert 40 minutes. So just be a little bit careful there. But if we're going to project him for 25 plus minutes, I do like him. I'm probably not going to get to anyone else, though. Let's go to Milwaukee. So we have Drew doubtful. I don't expect him to play. I think Giannis looks amazing. Going to be extremely popular tomorrow, but for good reason. Absolutely love Giannis. I think Bobby Portis is a good GPP play with no Drew. His minutes are going to go up. Probably plays close to 30 minutes. A good point per minute guy. So I do like his ceiling on the slate. Brook Lopez, just super, super safe play. I don't think he has the upside to win you a tournament, but fine is like a filler play. Grayson, Pat Connaughton, Javon Carter all got ownership last game. All of them busted outside of Grayson Allen. Um, they're all playable. But on this slate, I really don't think it's going to be needed. Like, you saw George Hill, I believe, close. He played like 30 minutes. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah. My boy, Tyrese Maxey, going to be back tomorrow. So, he'll be on a limit, so unplayable, I believe. But takes all the secondary guys out of play. Harden definitely gets a downgrade too, so it's probably just Joel Embiid for me in a good matchup at the top, and that's it. So I like Embiid. On to the Pelicans. We do have Zion back. Tough spot here, so no Pelicans for me. I think it's extremely easy to talk about. I will be fading this team. We do have Larry Nance most likely out. Sixers are a bigger team with Joel Embiid, so you would think Jonas Valanciunas would have to play a lot more. So I think he's an intriguing tournament play. As far as the backup five goes, Hernan Gomez and Jackson Hayes kind of had that role. I don't know who they would go to, so just be a little bit careful there. It's like flipping a coin, basically. All right, last three games here, guys. I'm going to keep it a bean. Miami in a tough matchup. Cross off. Denver. I mentioned to everyone in Discord last game. We all played for Denver guys to be ruled out. They got ruled out. It worked out massively for us. So Jokic at the top in a tough matchup, more just a GPP play. I do prefer Giannis, but he is the pivot off Giannis. Really going to be dependent. If Murray, Gordon, and Bruce all play, I don't really have interest in anyone else in a tough matchup. But if they're all out again, I think Bones Holland becomes a priority for me. I think he would look like one of the best plays on the slate. Would absolutely love him. I believe they started Zeke Naji. He played 30 minutes. He would be a playable value. Kankar and Braun will be in the rotation. They would be playable, but I don't think it's necessary on the slate. Ish Smith didn't play as much as I thought he was going to, so really, really sucks that happened. But yeah, potentially some things to like on Denver. Good matchup here for Portland. So Dame, I like his upside for GPPs, but he has a low floor, so he's only going to be considered tournament only play for me. I like everyone else though. I think Grant, they're just running such a tight rotation. So Dame, Grant, Nurk, Simons, Hart, they're all going to play close to 40 minutes. I think they're still too cheap. So I think Grant at 7.3K makes for an okay play in the mid range. If Nurkic is going to play high 30s minutes again, I love him at 6.7K going up against this Warriors defense. I love Nurkic tomorrow for GPPs. I think Simons at 6.6K is playable. But I think Josh Hart at 5.8K is too cheap if we're going to get similar run from him. He's a guy that has double upside, a good defender, a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. So has that shooting guard, shooting forward eligibility. So I do like me some Hart tomorrow. I'm not going to go to anyone else though. Let's go to the Warriors. So not much. It's a tough matchup. And Klay Thompson's back. I think Poole is now priced appropriately, but he's always in play. Like Klay in play, he always has a ceiling. Dante, no thank you at that price tag. Draymond Green, probably my favorite play on the Warriors, but once again, I think the upside is just like, I kind of question it, so yeah. I think Ty Jerome is always playable off the bench. He probably goes back to that like 18 to 20 minute role, but going to be productive when he's on the court, so I don't hate Ty Jerome for value. And then Kevon Looney, he's always playable, but once again, I question his ceiling. And that's what we want in GPP. So good match here for Utah. I like Mark at 8.4K. He's just been on a tear of late. He's doing everything for this team. Now, there are games where he forgets to rebound, but he does have that double-double upside. He's going to play huge minutes as well. I'm sorry this keeps showing up, guys, but I do like Mark. Clarkson, this guy has caused me incredible amounts of pain, but he does have a ceiling. Olynyk, no. Vanderbilt, no. Kessler, no. Conley is just super safe. Not going to go out of my way to play him. Not going to anyone else, though. So, Sabonis is playing through a broken finger. Played close to 40 minutes. Bigs against Utah have been absolutely destroying. So, I do like Sabonis for GPPs. Fox, I play him here with no Sabonis. Gets his minutes slashed. Gone. But with Sabonis back, plays 40 minutes. I just can't do it with Sabonis back. And then I'm not going to anyone else. Like, I don't think I can do it. Like, Monk is always playable just because he's like Emmanuel quickly. Like, he always has a ceiling, but just a dart. So I hope this helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.